Welcome to another episode of What Has Broken Today, also known as RVing. Alright, what broke?
So this is just the connection down to the sewer hose, down to the ground, where you dispense all everything. I was checking it because it was leaking down here, and I was like, oh, that's weird, it doesn't have an extra clamp down here. But as I was taking off, then it snapped off.
Plastic.
So I'm just going to have to throw it out.
Do they make them not plastic? I feel like they probably don't.
Probably not.
It's probably always plastic.
And then, yeah, so I gotta buy another one of these somewhere down the road.
Well, yeah, it's kind of dumb because it's out in the sun all day. It's gonna dry and crack pretty easily. And you're like throwing it in and out of the, storage area. So, all right, well, so far only one thing is broken today, so I'll take that.
The day's not done yet.
We had about a 2-hour drive north to stay just outside Charleston to visit some very good friends of ours. It's a nice lakefront site, but they did say there are alligators in that lake. I liked being up in the front of the campground here. We were closer to the bathhouse, which is great because, we're using their bathrooms and their showers instead of ours, which means that all the issues that we've had with the sewer are slightly less problematic because all we're dumping is dishwater.
Yeah,
so you're not like totally grossed out by it. It's just soapy dishwater. But it was nice being able to use the sink. I enjoyed that. But we were watching the traffic and looking at the directions to our next place, and the time kept going up because there's traffic coming out of Savannah. So we're gonna see how this drive goes. Hopefully there's not too much traffic. It's the bad thing about passing by a big city. But we didn't get to use the pool or the hot tub because it was such a quick trip, but we wanted to spend our time in Savannah. That was the important thing. We got to see Savannah. Redford got to see Savannah. So we find ourselves back at the same exact Camping World we came to for the sewer hose. We got off the exit because it was gonna put us around some traffic, and we figured it was rest time. I think Red has to go.
Yeah.
So as we were going off the exit, we were like, oh, that's the Camping World. We were like, well, might as well. So here we are. We picked up the new piece for the sewer hose. So hopefully we'll have a functioning hose again. And we're on 95 for maybe a little over an hour. And it was just so crazy. Like, the traffic was very heavy, and then there were a couple accidents where traffic was really backed up, and flat tires, and a guy peeing on the side of just standing there, not even trying to stand behind his car. I don't know. So we were like, 95 is crazy. So we decided to get off and take this road that kind of runs parallel to 95, a little slower, but we're avoiding a slowdown, so worth it because it's just easier to drive the Scamp and less stressful than being on 95. Some of those potholes, it's just not a fun drive. So, I mean, on the way from Florida going north, it's been pretty good. Most of the time we were just going through Georgia on the back roads, which was very nice. And we got to avoid it until today, but gave us a good reminder of how not fun it is. And I think as long as we can go a little slower and take our time, we'll try and avoid that because it's really, really unsafe. I think on this trip we realized how much we prefer being on the back roads than being on the major highways. It's easier to drive with the Scamp, so Patrick's not as stressed out, and you get to experience the area a lot better. Instead of just being on the interstate passing through, we get to see some of the small towns, the stores, the people's houses. It just gives you a better idea of the area, and that's one of our favorite things about traveling, is just seeing how other people live and what their day-to-day life is like. After 3 U-turns and getting stuck in some sort of police escort, we figured out, so that's the sign. We were like, where do you turn? You actually turn into this gas station parking lot.
Some registrations in here.
Register in office? Oh, the office is here?
Yeah.
Okay. That was at first. I had to go to the gas station, but they actually have a very nice little store in there with fishing stuff, camping stuff, food, all sorts of things. But that's where I had to check in for camping. Turns out we were the first people to check into this RV site. Looks like a brand new spot. Must have just built it. Okay, that's good. The other reason we try to avoid 95 is because it just throws everything around. As much as I try to get things to stay in place, it just throws everything all over. The iPad, I hope it's not broken. Good thing it was in the case. Fell out of this top cabinet. I'm gonna have to put another latch. Come on, Red. On that top cabinet. I pulled curtain there. Knocked that curtain down. Stuff fell off the hooks. These things always fall over. That's no big deal. But, yeah, that's what 95 does. It really can't be good for the structure of the trailer either. Yeah, I would say that those roads are probably not great for the structural integrity of the Scamp in the long run. Yeah, the screw is like stripped basically. It just kind of slides. Alright, put it on the list. It's quite nice out now. The sun's starting to go down, it's a little cooler. Red's happy about that. But this is an interesting place that we're staying at. Pat was talking to the owners and they've had it just about 6 months. So it's a very new thing and we are the first people to, I think, stay on this site. It's brand new. Brand new hookups, everything brand new. And you can see there's 4 of them lined up right here looking at the lake. And we were the first people to ever book on Hip Camp. When I went to check in, she was all excited. She was like, "Oh, you're my first Hip Camp people." And there's the view of the lake. This would be great if we had our own kayaks or paddle boards or something, although there are snakes and alligators. But it looks like a really popular fishing spot. And if you don't have an RV, these are all hotel rooms. So, interesting little spot. It's a nice evening.
Ooh, nice sunset.
We took our dinner down to the picnic table and sat by the lake. It was so pleasant out. Patrick got to talk to the new owners, and they're a couple probably not far off from our age, and they've owned the campground for about 6 months and they've done a ton of work to it, and they still have a lot of really big plans for what they want to do. They seemed a little bit overwhelmed by the size of the project, which I totally understand, but they're doing a great job fixing this up, and I think this is going to probably be a spot we would come back to regularly because it's so close to where our friends live. And where can you find a waterfront site like this? Good boy. Good boy. He's usually afraid of ducks, but this one doesn't really move, so he's pretty good. Good boy. This guy didn't want to go inside, so I put his bed outside. You like sitting outside? It's nice out. Oh, good boy. Good boy, Redford.
Don't judge me.
Our camper is so dirty right now, and our hot water heater door is held on by a piece of paracord.
And the broken metal piece. Don't lose it.
And our sewer hose lives in a trash bag. That's so weird.
Yeah.
I guess
Don't keep it on.
it works because it's like a very simple principle. When's the last time we used this?
Last
Like,
time, I think, is
The
that
first year we had it, right?
we took it to that
The winery.
winery.
Yeah. Bellevue?
Yeah, and I was just messing around with it.
Oh.
Take a shower. You know?
Yeah. I've never actually taken a shower in this camp.
No?
Mm-mm.
Well, they are today, my dear.
I thought we got off easy today and only one thing broke. We decided it was a good idea to take showers in here instead of using the bathhouse. Just because we wanted to see if the hot water heater worked, and the hot water heater worked great.
Mm.
But the bottom of the shower has a pump that has to drain the water down into the gray water tank, and it's making a noise, but it's not doing anything. And we've only used it, I don't know, what, twice?
Yeah.
But it seems to be a picky item. So, it's the evening edition of What's Broken Now. I'm sure everybody watching this who's thinking about getting an RV is having second thoughts.
Don't blame me. It's an old RV and we haven't used this.
Yeah, I mean,
in a long time.
I know stuff breaks on the new ones too.
Yeah.
You know, it's
maybe
not.
More so.
It's not just the old ones. It's a beautiful morning in South Carolina. Really sunny, not too hot. It's great. And we're heading to meet up with our friends and do a little exploring. Redford, you're ready, right? You've been ready, I know. We're going. Okay. We headed over to meet up with our friends at a park in the area. They had just moved down to the area outside Charleston a few weeks earlier, and we were really excited to see how they were acclimating to life in a new state. We ended up just hanging out with them, going for a hike, and just having a great time spending time with two of our favorite people. So we didn't actually film anything, but this is a little glimpse into the area outside Charleston. I'm sure that we will be back, and we'll show you a little bit more next time. We're back on 95, you might be able to tell. We've avoided it for as much as we could, but we're trying to get a good long drive day in because now we've kind of finished all the things that we set out to do on this trip. We got to see our friends, and now we're just sort of heading back home to get things resituated and regroup and figure out what the new plan is. But we're not really sure where we're going to stay tonight. That's kind of a to be determined. I was looking at a couple harvest hosts to see if I could find somewhere to stay. But we're going to try to drive for a little while, for as long as we can tolerate being on 95 to try to just get some miles in and get north. But the weather's good, and knock on something, the traffic has been decent so far, so good day to get some miles in. Well, we were doing well. Spoke too soon. But the Jeep hit 100,000 miles today. I missed it. I was gonna try to film it, but I wasn't paying attention this morning because we were just trying to get going. But 100,000. I hope you enjoyed this quick little visit to South Carolina. We will be back to this area in the future to give you a better look. We made our way north and we were heading toward south of the border, which is something we've always heard of. And we were kind of hungry for lunch, so we figured we would stop. And it was an odd experience, but we'll save that one for the next video. We still have a great harvest host to share with you when we stop in North Carolina, and a very nice KOA as we made our way back across the Chesapeake and up toward New Jersey. So stick around for that. We will see you in the next one.
The news and what you hear, your career. It's time for you to face those fears, and it's all fair to be aware, and I'll be there. So don't be scared. Just take a deep breath of air. And 1, 2, 3 to 10, you begin to focus again. And though time flies, we'll have enough to realize this bigger than the both of us.